Hello YouTube, W&J's Handy Dad here, and as I promised, we're gonna remove the throttle body today and try to clean as deep in here as possible, clean the inside of the throttle body, put it all back together, and then run a seam foam treatment on here. So we should have everything really clean by the time we're done. So removing the throttle body should be pretty straightforward. If you have the newer model Crown Vic, it's going to look like mine. If you have the older one, it's going to be slightly different, but the process should be pretty much the same. So you've got a screw, or you can use a socket on there, loosen this ring, and that allows you to remove the tube here. You're going to have an electrical connector there for your idle air bypass. Mine has the electrical for the drive-by wire, and then you also have the crankcase ventilation. And again, if you have an older model, this is going to look different, and then you're not going to have this, you're going to have an actual linkage here. So we're going to remove that, loosen that, which will allow us to pull this off of here. And then there's basically just 4 bolts that hold on the throttle body. So as shown in the other video, this comes off with just this little release tab and pull. And then these, typically you pull the red tab back and then squeeze. You're also going to want to loosen this one so that you can pull this completely out of here, otherwise this tube here is going to be in your way when you're working on this. So with that out of the way, you can see there's lower bolt there and the other lower bolt there. On my throttle body, the 8mm and the 5/16 socket both kind of fit, but neither one seems to be a perfect fit. And going to the next smaller size, 7mm or 9/32, did not fit at all. So it's kind of a weird situation. But I'm going to go with the 5/16 because it seems to be a little bit better fit than the 8mm. Comes out. And you see, as I'm removing this last bolt, it's already loose and coming off of there, so gotta support the throttle body. That's also why I did the lower ones first. It's easier to do the uppers last. So you can see quite a bit of carbon buildup in there. And then you see this piece actually comes off. It almost looks like a reusable gasket, so I'm hoping that it will work just fine. But with that off, you can really see the inside, all this carbon buildup in there. I want to get all of that out. And the nice thing, having this off, instead of having to be super careful with little spritzes, we can really spray and soak this. So we'll let that soak for a second. That's what I'm using. We'll just take our throttle body cleaner and a shop towel, See, I got all that off just in this area here. You can probably go as deep as you want to go in there, but since I'm going to seafoam it, that inside stuff will get cleaned out by the seafoam. Now mine's not near as dirty as yours might be. If yours is dirtier than this, you can obviously scrub it with a toothbrush or something. You don't want to cut up the metal though, so I would just be careful what you use. See, mine's cleaning up pretty easily. I will caution, those two screws that are on the inside are very sharp. They will cut your rag, they will cut a paper towel if you have it, or obviously your fingers if you get your fingers in there. See, there's a little bit of carbon there. Definitely easier to do this off the car than it is on the car. Now to get a little deeper in there, what I did was I just took the screwdriver, wrapped the handle in the rag, not the metal end obviously, sprayed it with the throttle body cleaner, and then kind of rubbed it around in there, and you see it got quite a bit more out. So feeling pretty good that that's clean enough that we can put it back together, and then we'll do the seafoam treatment, and that should clean everything out beyond where I can reach. So you see, it's not perfect, but certainly got it a lot cleaner than it was when we started. So the gasket goes back on, and there's really only one way it can go. It's got these little tabs there, and those line up on here. So it goes in like that. So installation is going to be the reverse of the removal. I'm going to hand thread this top bolt in. That should make it easier to put the bottom two in. Make sure that they're in right. Now we're just going to tighten these just to the point where it's holding it on there. Alright, I've got all four of them where they're just tightened to the point where it's holding it flush on there, but I haven't snugged them down. So now I'm going to go get the torque wrench. Torque spec is in inch-pounds, translated to foot-pounds, it's 8 to 9 foot-pounds. So I'm going to do 8.5 foot-pounds, and I'm going to torque this like an old-fashioned four-lug wheel. So I'm going to do a crisscross pattern. See, very little torque to get those properly torqued. If you don't have a torque wrench, I would highly recommend you go get one. Now to do our seafoam, you want your straw on the seafoam to extend about that far. Also, for the Crown Vic, since the throttle body opens that way, you want your straw on the bottom. In other words, you don't want it on the top where it could hit the throttle body when it opens. So to do that, You just basically can move the straw in this little black plastic thing. You don't have to cut the tip. I've seen other people cut the tip, and I think, why do that? Because now, by moving the straw, you see I'll have this extra length here to get the can in position when this is ready to go. It's not mandatory, but because these are potential wet locations, I would go ahead and put a little bit of dialectic tune-up grease on the connectors before you reconnect them. Just helps seal out the water. Make sure you press those lock tabs so that they stay connected. Put the tube back in, and then go warm up the car, and then we'll do the seafoam.